know when my wife is lying about love. Welcome back, guys. Settle in, because tonight's story is a real one. It didn't come from a ghost or a demon. It came from a home that looked normal from the outside. The living room was soft and warm. Late afternoon light slid through thin curtains, turning the air golden. A TV played low in the background, some game show nobody was really watching. The couch sagged a little in the middle. A baby blanket lay folded over the armrest, neat and bright. Based on a true story. A woman named Keisha Brown sat on that couch in a quiet apartment on the west side of Atlanta. 33, African American, brown skin, round face, careful hair. She wore a simple house dress and held her phone in one hand, scrolling without seeing. Her husband, Andre, stood by the window, bouncing their baby daughter Malia against his chest. Malia was 5 months old. Chubby cheeks, wide eyes, tiny hands gripping his shirt. Every time she made a small sound, Andre smiled. Not a polite smile, not a distracted smile. A raw, open smile. The kind a man makes when something lights him up from the inside. Keisha watched him, watched his face, watched his eyes. She had known Andre for 10 years, married for 8. She had watched his expression change for many reasons: annoyance, amusement, boredom, stress. She had only seen this look once before, back when he first fell in love with her. Now he wore that look again, not at her, at the baby. People say you can't tell when love moves. They talk about falling out of love like it is slow and vague. Some wives read articles, watch TV shows, share memes about 10 signs he's cheating. Keisha didn't need any of that. Keisha knew. She knew the moment her husband stopped loving her first. It wasn't another woman. No perfume, no lipstick, no late-night texts. It was worse. It was their daughter. And in her mind, that made it a different kind of betrayal. A quieter one, a softer one, but still a betrayal. The most dangerous kind there is. It started with little things. Andre used to come home and kiss Keisha first, always, even when they were tired, even when they were annoyed at each other. A quick kiss, a habit, a line drawn. Then one day, he came home from work, dropped his keys, and walked straight to the bassinet. "Where my girl at?" he said in a soft, playful voice Keisha didn't recognize. He lifted Malia. The baby squealed. Andre laughed from his stomach, a sound that shook his shoulders. He kissed her forehead 3 times. We didn't look back at the woman standing in the kitchen doorway with a dish towel in her hand. Keisha told herself it was cute. At first, she washed plates and listened to them in the next room. The little gurgles, the deep, unguarded laugh. The man she married sounded younger with the baby in his arms. He had never sounded like that with her, not even in the beginning. The next day, it happened again, and the next, and the next. He started sending Keisha texts from work. "Send me a pic of the baby." "How's my girl doing?" He meant the baby, not her. At church, their friends gathered around Andre. "You look happy, man," one said. "Fatherhood suits you." "I've never seen him smile so much," another woman told Keisha. "You must feel so blessed." Blessed. That word tasted bitter in Keisha's mouth. She smiled anyway. That's what good wives do. At night, she lay beside him in bed, watching his face in the light from his phone screen. He scrolled through photos, not of her, not of their wedding, their trips, their years together. Only the baby. He lingered on one picture of Malia sleeping on his chest. He zoomed in. He smiled. "You love her," Keisha said. He answered without looking up. "I've never loved anybody like this," he said. Something cold went through her. Not because he loved his daughter, but because of the way he said never. Like the years with her were some early draft of love. Practice, preparation, not the real thing. That was the first strange event. Not a scream, not a fight. Just a sentence. One that put a crack down the center of her world. Keisha started reading. Not parenting books, not mother forums, articles about cheating, emotional affairs. Is your husband falling for someone else? Most of the signs didn't fit. No late-night phone calls, no sudden gym memberships, no cologne, no new shirts. But the feelings did. He lit up when he saw this other person. He talked about her all the time. He carved out time for her. He was patient with her in ways he'd never been with Keisha. Sometimes men cheat with attention, not bodies, one article said. She stared at that line. That felt right. Except the other woman couldn't even sit up yet. Malia grew, rolled, reached, grabbed his beard and his nose. When she cried, she calmed faster in his arms than in Keisha's. People laughed about it. "She's a daddy's girl," they said. "You got competition now, Keish." Jokes, always jokes. Nobody thought about what that actually meant. That they were telling her, with smiles, that she had been replaced. Keisha started counting. How many times he smiled at the baby in an hour. How many times he smiled at her. How many seconds he looked at Malia when he came home. How many seconds he looked at his wife. It was not a fair comparison. She was tired. She had bags under her eyes. She smelled like disinfectant and spit up. The baby was round and soft and new. But love is not fair. Jealousy even less. Little thoughts crept in. When he kisses her cheek, that should be me. When he says, "my girl," that should mean me. When people say they've never seen him so happy, that should be about our past, not his present. Keisha did not hate her daughter. Not at first. She hated what her daughter did to the balance of the house. Love used to be a line between two people. Now it was a triangle. And Keisha felt herself being pushed out of the shape. The first time Keisha scared herself was in the bathtub. Not the night you think. That came later. This was a regular evening. Warm water. Baby soap. Malia sitting propped between her mother's legs, splashing weakly with her hands. The bathroom was humid. The mirror fogged. Keisha's knees ached from kneeling on the mat. Andre sat in the living room, watching a game. Keisha poured water over Malia's hair. The baby blinked, then smiled. For a moment, something soft moved in Keisha's chest. This is mine, she thought. My baby. My girl. My reason. Then she heard Andre laugh from the next room at something the TV said. And a thought slid in, quiet and sharp. If she weren't here, he would still look at me that way. She froze. The baby reached up, grabbed at the stream of water, made a happy sound. Keisha stared at her. The thought turned again. If she weren't here, he would come back. The fear started then. Not fear of the baby, fear of herself. Fear of what she was capable of imagining. She shook it off, took a deep breath. focused on the rinsing, the drying, the lotion, the soft pajamas. Normal mother things. Good mother things. But later that night, when she lay in bed beside Andre, and he rolled over to look at a video of Malia on his phone, the thought came back. If she weren't here, he would see me. Keisha's heart beat slow and heavy. She knew intrusive thoughts. She had read about them. New mothers imagined dropping babies, hurting babies, losing babies. It was common. Hormones, sleep deprivation, anxiety. That's what she told herself. This is normal, she whispered into the dark. It's normal to think crazy things. She didn't say the rest. It's not normal to want them. The next day, she noticed Andre had changed his phone wallpaper. It used to be a picture of the two of them at Tybee Island, before the baby. Her in a sundress, him shirtless, holding her waist, grinning. Now it was a close-up of Malia's face. Keisha smiled when he showed her, then turned away so he couldn't see the anger move like smoke behind her eyes. The fear had a shape now. It wasn't, what if I lose my child? It was, what if I am losing my husband to my child? And there is no pamphlet in the hospital for that. Keisha started testing small ways to take space back. When Andre came home, she would already be holding Malia. "Oh, you just missed her smile," she'd say. "She's sleepy now." She'd keep the baby on her shoulder longer, rock her past the point of need, delay the handoff. Andre frowned sometimes, but he didn't push. He trusted her. She was the mother. He assumed she knew best. At family gatherings, aunties teased him. "Don't hog that baby, Dre," they said. "You know she got her mama's heart." Keisha smiled at that. He doesn't, she thought. He doesn't have my heart anymore. The more people praised Andre as a father, the more invisible Keisha felt. Compliments landed like little cuts. He's such a good dad. She's obsessed with him. She lights up when he walks in. And what about me? Keisha wanted to ask. But she didn't. Instead, she watched. One night, she stayed in the hall and listened to Andre read to Malia. "She loves you so much," he murmured to the baby. "You're my whole world, you know that?" Whole world. Keisha pressed her back to the wall. That was the moment truth stopped hiding. He didn't just love their daughter. He lived for her. He breathed for her. Every day at work, every hour at his boring job, he was moving closer to the moment he could come home and see that little face. Keisha knew what that kind of focus did to a marriage. She had heard women cry about it in beauty salons and church parking lots. "Ever since the baby, I don't exist. All he does is work and then hold the kid. I feel like a roommate, not a wife." Some of them left. Some of them cheated. Some of them stayed and rotted quietly. Keisha wasn't going to be any of those. She had a different idea. One night she was up late, scrolling. She found a news story about a young mother whose baby had drowned in a bathtub. The article called it a tragic accident. There were photos of people bringing flowers, hugging the mother, holding her as she sobbed. The comments were full of sympathy. "Poor woman. Can't imagine the pain. Send prayers for this mama." Nobody called her a murderer. Keisha read the article 3 times. Truth got worse that night. Not because something changed in the world, because something changed in her. She understood there was a way to lose a baby and gain sympathy. And maybe, just maybe, gain back a husband's full attention. Keisha tried to ask for help in small, clumsy ways. At a postpartum checkup, she told the doctor, "Sometimes I feel like I'm not enough for them anymore." The doctor smiled. "That's normal," she said. "Your identity is shifting. You're a mom now." "I feel angry," Keisha added. "At him, at her." The doctor's smile faded a little, then came back. "You're tired," she said. "Make sure you rest when the baby rests. I can prescribe something if your mood doesn't lift." Rest. Pills. That was the answer. At church, Keisha told the pastor's wife in passing, "Sometimes I think she's stealing him from me." The woman laughed. "That's what babies do," she said. "They steal your man first, then your sleep, then your body. It's cute, really." It wasn't cute. A neighbor noticed Keisha looking tense on the porch one day, holding the baby while Andre played with older kids nearby. "You okay?" she asked. "Sometimes I feel invisible," Keisha said. The neighbor nodded. "Girl, join the club," she said. "Men and their daughters, it's their little romance. Just be grateful he's involved." Grateful. That word stacked on top of blessed. A pile of expectations. She should be grateful. She should be happy. She should be proud. There was no space left for how she actually felt. Andre felt the shift too, in his own way. He noticed the way Keisha watched him with the baby, the way her jaw tensed, the way she took Malia away a beat too early. He started asking, "You okay? You seem off. You mad at me?" She answered, "I'm fine. I'm just tired. Nothing's wrong." Even when everything was. Society has a soft spot for mothers. Devoted mothers, tired mothers, broken mothers. It does not know what to do with mothers whose love points like a weapon. So it looks away, and when that happens, there is nothing between a dark thought and a dark act except one person's will. Keisha's will was cracking, and no one saw it. The first time Andre panicked was small. He came home and found Malia crying in her crib, face red, voice hoarse. Keisha sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall. "How long has she been crying?" he asked. Keisha blinked, as if coming back from far away. "I don't know," she said. He scooped the baby up, rocked her, shushed her, shot his wife a look. "You can't just leave her like that," he said. Keisha's eyes filled with tears, then anger. "I'm with her all day," she snapped. "You work 8 hours and think you can tell me what to do?" He backed off. He told himself it was stress. He told himself she needed a break. He started coming home earlier, cooking more, taking night shifts with the baby. The more he tried to help, the more Keisha pulled away from both of them. He suggested therapy. For both of them. "We can talk to someone," he said. "This is a big change. We need tools." "You think I'm crazy?" she answered. "I think you're hurting," he said. She went once. She smiled at the therapist. She said the right things. She talked about sleep, hormones, baby blues. She did not mention the article about the drowned baby. She did not mention the thoughts in the bathtub. She did not mention the way she counted Andre's smiles. Andre told himself it was a good sign that she went at all. People cling to any hope when they're scared. He didn't see that she was also learning. learning what to say to pass, learning what to hide. Keisha started doing something new. Whenever Andre held Malia, she watched with a strange calm, then said, "She loves you so much, more than me, I think." He'd protest, "No, she loves us both." But the idea lodged. She said it often, "More than me, more than me, more than me." It sounded like self-pity. It was not. It was rehearsing. It was building a case in her own mind. If the baby loved him more, then the baby was already lost to her. If she was already lost, then taking her away was not stealing. It was setting things back to how they should be. Humans panic in different ways. Andre cooked more, talked soft, held his family close. Keisha did something else. She made a plan. Here is what you need to understand. The man telling this story is calm. He knows what happened. He has gone over it again and again. He is not guessing. He is only laying out the steps. Love, when split, can feel like starvation. Some people adapt, share, stretch. Others cannot. They feel every ounce of attention that goes elsewhere like a cut. Keisha was not evil in the way people like to picture. She did not cackle. She did not rub her hands. She did not plan with a villain's joy. She planned with quiet desperation. She told herself, "If she is gone, he will grieve, and he will need me, and he will come back to me the way he was before." In her mind, it was not killing. It was removing a rival who never should have existed. One evening, Andre's job called him in for an emergency night shift. He didn't want to go. He hesitated at the door, looking back at the crib. "You sure you're okay?" he asked. Keisha smiled. "We'll be fine," she said. He kissed the baby's forehead. He kissed Keisha's cheek. He left. The apartment was quiet. Keisha ran the bath. Warm water. Too warm. Full. She undressed Malia, held her close, smelled her hair, felt the soft skin against her own. The baby smiled, trusting. "This is for us," Keisha whispered. "This is so he can love me again." She lowered the baby into the water, stayed there, hands under the surface, pressed down. There were no screams, just bubbles and small movements. And then nothing. When Andre came home 4 hours later, he found Keisha on the bathroom floor, wrapped in a towel, shivering, clutching an empty baby towel to her chest. "It was an accident," she said again and again. "I was so tired. I closed my eyes for a second. I woke up and she was under. I'm a bad mother, I'm a bad mother. I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Police were called. Paramedics. Everyone saw the same scene. Exhausted mother. Wet floor, slippery tub, dead baby. The system looked at her and saw what it was trained to see. Tragedy, not crime. The man telling you this does not raise his voice now. He doesn't need to. Because you already know the worst part. They believed her. The weeks after the funeral blurred together. Casseroles, flowers, text messages, hugs. People wrapped their arms around Keisha and sobbed with her. "You poor thing. No mother should go through this. We're here for you." They called her strong. They called her brave. They called her a good mom. Andre stood at her side, numb. Everyone told him, Take care of your wife. She needs you. She lost her whole world. Nobody asked what he lost. He lost a daughter. But he also lost something else. He lost the ability to trust the person sleeping beside him. He replayed the facts, kept circling the same questions. How do you fall asleep with a baby in a full tub? How do you not hear the splash? How do you not wake up? The police called it an accident. The social worker called it an accident. The therapist called it trauma. Everyone told him, don't blame her. She blames herself enough. At night, Keisha clung to him. You're all I have left, she whispered. Don't leave me. You still love me, right? Tell me you love me. He said the words, I love you. They felt hollow in his mouth. But if he left, everyone would call him a monster. The man whose baby died and then abandoned the grieving mother. He was trapped, no proof, no confession, only a feeling. A strong, cold feeling that the person he once loved had changed into someone he didn't recognize. Sometimes, late at night, when Keisha finally slept, Andre lay awake and watched her breathe. He thought, if she killed our daughter because she loved me too much, what happens if my love ever shifts again? No one could answer that. So he stayed, and the love that remained in the house bent under the weight of something unspoken. A crime everyone called an accident. A choice only one person admitted to herself. Years passed. People talked less about the baby. Casseroles stopped. Life, as they say, went on. Keisha and Andre tried again. At first, Andre refused. Then the pressure came. You can't let this define you, people said. You're still young. God will give you another blessing. Keisha wanted that. Badly. She said it with a strange calm. This time, I'll do it right, she told Andre. I know what went wrong before. I'll be careful. I'll be perfect. The words chilled him, but he agreed. They had a son. His name was Caleb. Keisha poured everything into him. Every fear, every hope, every ounce of love. She watched Andre with him too, counted the smiles, measured the laughs, backed away when she felt jealousy start to curl. She had learned something from the first time, not about safety, about subtlety. She never left Caleb alone in the tub, not with water in it. Andre stayed, watched, protected, counted too. From the outside, they looked like a family that had survived tragedy and come out stronger. People love stories like that. They shared them in church, in small groups, online. Our marriage almost broke, they said, but we fought for it. They did not say what that fight cost. The truly horrifying part is not what happened in the tub. It is this: there was no punishment, no justice, no neat ending. Keisha lived the rest of her life as a good mother who made a terrible mistake. Andre lived the rest of his as a strong man who forgave her. The lie hardened, became the story everyone agreed on. Everyone but him. He never forgot. He never forgave. He did something else instead. He split himself. One part lived the life, went to work, paid bills, played with his son, smiled beside his wife. The other part stood outside the life and watched. Like a narrator. Calm, detached, cold, describing what happened. as if it happened to someone else. Epilogue. The narrator. You have been listening to that second part. The voice that stands outside and says, the woman, the husband, the baby, the tub. The voice that uses third person. The voice that sounds like it belongs to someone neutral, someone safe, someone watching from a distance. It doesn't. On paper, at the top of the file, there is a name. Patient Andre Brown's session recordings, narrative exercise. His therapist asked him to tell the story, to say what happened. He couldn't do it in first person. I drowned my daughter would never sound right in his mouth. I let my wife near water again would never be a sentence he could own. So he moved sideways. He talked about the woman instead of my wife. He talked about the husband instead of me. He talked about the man telling this, as if that man were someone else. That is the twist. The narrator was never outside. He was in the house the whole time. He slept in the bed. He held the baby. He watched the water. He heard the excuses. He said, "I love you," to a woman he believed had killed his child. He did not stop her in time. He cannot forgive her. He cannot forgive himself. So he does the only thing left. He becomes the one who tells the story instead of the one who lives in it. He becomes the one who tells the story instead of the one who lives in it. He turns his life into a horror story so he can feel like he is watching it, not drowning inside it. You thought you were hearing from a calm, distant witness. You weren't. You were hearing a man who cannot bear to say "I" anymore. Because if he does, he has to admit something worse than murder. He has to admit that he saw the danger and stayed. He has to admit that love in that house was not harmless. It was hunger. And hunger always eats something. In this story, it ate a baby first, and then, very slowly, it ate the man who loved her, leaving only this voice behind. Calm, cold, certain, the voice you just trusted.
Thank you for listening to The Storyteller's Moon. If this story touched you, scared you, or kept you on the edge of your seat, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support keeps the stories alive, and I can't wait to share the next one with you under the moonlight. Until then, may your nights be safe and your dreams unforgettable.